episode of Geeky Baker. Today we are going to be making an I love you like a pig loves mud cake. So, several things you're going to need for this. All of those things you can find in one of our Geeky Baker Basics tutorials. And I'll link all of those down below just for you. So, the first thing that you're going to need is that delicious tweaked chocolate cake recipe that we made together in one of our other videos. In addition, you're going to need some of that delicious chocolate ganache, and you're going to need some of that Swiss meringue buttercream. You will also need some simple syrup, which we made together in another tutorial. And lastly, you're going to need all of those Kit Kats that we cut up. It's going to be great, guys. And then at the very end, we're going to use some of our little bitty tiny piglets made out of modeling chocolate. And I also have linked down below how to make modeling chocolate. It's going to be exciting! Labbit, can you go ahead and bring me my 9-inch pan? And go ahead and bring me my tape measure. Labbit, why don't you go ahead and hand me those Kit Kats? So next you're going to need the outside border of your barrel. And I have found that if you buy the Kit Kats in this bigger package instead of the smaller individual packages, you're going to save yourself a lot of money. This right here is about $1.50. And buying the equivalent of the wrapped packages is going to be about $5, whereas 2 of these is $3. So much cheaper way to do that. And I always start by measuring the outside of my pan all the way around the outside circumference of that, and I end up with about 29 inches to be safe. So I always measure to make sure that I have enough Kit Kats to fit all the way around so you don't make an extra trip out to the store when you don't need to. You can start by unwrapping your package of Kit Kats. Try to keep these intact as much as possible because these are going to form the outer flanks of your barrel. So go ahead and lay those out. And you are going to need a knife. Wait, that's not a knife. This is a knife. And you are going to very carefully sever those, keeping your fingers out of the way. Just press down the middle as they are meant to break. I'll give you 2 guesses what song is going through my head right now. Labbit, stay away from the Kit Kats. I mean it. Anybody else got a peanut? Alright, so those are your pieces. I'm going to need considerably more of these, which I've already prepared. Okay, so in my mixer, I have 4 cups of our delicious Swiss meringue buttercream, and I am going to whip that into oblivion just for a little bit to get it prepared for my slightly warmed chocolate ganache because we are going to create a chocolate buttercream. Okay, so now we are going to add our only slightly warmed chocolate ganache. So I am adding 2 cups of chocolate ganache to 4 cups of Swiss meringue buttercream, and we are going to see if we like that consistency and that texture and that flavor. Make sure you get all of that deliciousness out of there. Okay, so now I have added my chocolate ganache to my buttercream. about halfway through. Scrape down the sides of your bowl. Make sure you get everything in there. And this is going to give your buttercream a nice, light, chocolatey flavor. Move that around, out of the way. And I'm just going to let that beat on high for about a minute. So you are going to start by having a turntable. Do you have to have one? No. Makes it a whole lot easier if you do. You're going to place one 10-inch cake circle on top of your turntable, ready to receive your cakes. So you're going to need one cake sliced into 2 even layers, leveled off. So we have already done one of those, and as you can see, it is ready to go. Still a little bit crumbly. Don't worry, we're going to capture all of those crumbs with some buttercream. So we're going to take some of our pre-made simple syrup you can find in the Geeky Baker Basics, and we are going to drizzle that. See how much easier it is if it's in a squirt bottle. Drizzle that all over your cake. This is going to add a lot more moisture to your cake. Okay, I'm just going to put that on there for now so I can go ahead and douse the top. I'm actually going to turn this guy over like that so that I have a nice flat top and bottom. And go ahead and give him a generous helping also of your simple syrup. Next, get your buttercream out. Okay, so now that you have your cake, now that you have your chocolate buttercream, we are going to start to assemble. So you are going to take a generous dollop of your chocolate buttercream using your offset spatula. It's offset because you can see right there. That helps you to evenly spread this out without getting your knuckles in it. Now, the reason why I'm putting on so much is because I really don't want to get back into this once I start spreading, because you're going to be picking up crumbs left and right. This is a super moist cake. So let your turntable do some of the work for you. Okay? If you pick straight up, you are going to get disgusting crummy mess. So don't do that. You want to move back and forth, and when you're ready to pick up, you want to slide off. Okay? So spread this buttercream all over. If some of it ends up over the side, that's fine. Guess what? It's gonna go there anyway. It is okay, and if it spills onto the side like that, you can just reach in, pick it up. We're gonna clean this board up later anyway, so make sure that you have a generous helping of this delicious, beautiful buttercream spread as nice and evenly as possible. Now, chances are this has some crumbs in it. That's okay. We're not gonna stick it back in here. We're just gonna wipe it off. So what I will sometimes do is wipe most of that off onto your top layer of your cake, because it's gonna get covered with buttercream anyway. So you're gonna go ahead and pick up your cake. Now remember, this is that little bit of a rounded top down, so you have your nice flat cake. The reason why this is only a 2-layer cake is because we want to make sure that our Kit Kats will stand up enough so that it looks like we have a top rim of our barrel. Now normally I like to do 3-layer, even 4-layer cakes, a lot of height, makes for a very impressive type of cake. So what we're going to do is we're going to wash this off, and I will be right back. Oh, look who shows up when it's time for cake. Yes, you. So we now have our clean spatula. I also have gotten a little bowl to do any wiping off of this because I don't want to be transferring crumbs back and forth. So I'm going to get another generous helping of my chocolate buttercream. Okay, so I'm going to start with this amount. Slowly start spreading that, letting your turntable do some of the work for you. Remember, we're not picking straight up. You're spreading back and forth and then slide off. If you pick up, you're going to get nasty crumbs. So I don't want a whole lot on the top of the cake, but I do need a thin layer because we are going to have some chocolate ganache for our mud bath for our little piglets. Okay. So I'm going to change the camera angle, get down in here so you can see what it looks like. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start kind of mushing that in to the sides because you are going to have a little bit of a divot there that you need to fill with buttercream. Darn, what a terrible thing. You are just going over this, giving it a once over. You're trying to collect any crumbs. Call this the crumb coat because you are collecting all the crumbs so they don't show up a little bit later. Just letting that fall over the edge there. Now you will see it is pretty messy along the edges here. Don't worry, we're gonna clean that up. And remember, this whole thing is gonna be coated with an outer layer of Kit Kat. So we really don't need this to be super thick. We just mostly need it to be a little bit of glue for a little bit later. And I'm just scraping my excess off into my bowl here. I'm going to put this into the freezer for about 10 minutes. Let all this buttercream and ganache harden up so that way I can put one more layer on it, and then we're going to add our Kit Kats.